We're going to keep on going.
Okay, everything looking good?
Looks great.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. As you know, my name is Dylan, and today I'll be providing an orated summary of Miami-Dade County's 2020 to 2021 budget. So my presentation will proceed as follows. It'll be a brief description of the county's history and demographic information, highlights of its mission, vision, and current goals, the revenue analysis and expenditure analysis, financial ratios, and the 2019 CAFR analysis, along with a couple of capital improvement plans, or one specifically. So Miami-Dade lay within an area consisting of a subtropical climate. In my personal experience, I could say walking around the city near the walkways adjacent to the ocean feels just as if you were on the beach at all times. Miami-Dade County reports the city of Miami can trace its origins to more than 400 years ago when Spain and England fought for the land and split the greater Miami area into two protected areas. Around the mid 1800s, the industrial age brought with it a railroad system, exacerbating growth. When tourism began to take off, tourists visiting the city would often call it the City of Magic. This is where the origin of Miami's nickname, Magic City, came from. So Miami-Dade County has 34 incorporated municipalities under its governing service scope. In addition, there are also several unincorporated municipal areas that are provided some public services. Miami-Dade County's jurisdiction encompasses more than 2,000 square miles. Average income is quite low. The median income in Miami-Dade County is that of only $46,338, while the national median income in the last census was just over 70,000. Finally, Miami-Dade has a population of 2,761,581 as of 2018. Also interesting to note is that more than half of its residents in Miami-Dade County are foreign born. So hooray for diversity. Here I had placed Miami-Dade County's mission and vision from their 2020 strategic plan. Miami-Dade County's mission is to deliver excellent public services that address their community's needs and enhance their quality of life now and in the future. Miami-Dade County's vision is to deliver excellent service today and tomorrow. Short, sweet. Miami-Dade County has many values listed in their 2020 strategic plan. These include resiliency, customer focused, honest, ethics, accountable, responsive, diversity, empathetic, efficient government, innovative, and respectful. I thought respectful was pretty interesting that they put on there. So the projected and current revenues for the 2020 to 2021 budget look well. General fund balance funds are supported by both tax supported and proprietary funds. Tax revenues make up 48% of the total general balance revenue budget. And tax supported revenues, the major revenue sources consist of property taxes, sales taxes, and a local gas tax option that can be placed and implemented at the discretion of each municipality that's within their range. Property taxes make up the most tax revenues, with 37% of total general fund revenues, or about 77% total tax revenues, generated from levies on the tax. Proprietary funds total 52% of general fund revenue balance, which generate from fees associated with county-wide services such as water and sewer management, seaport, and aviation fees. Also, grants from the state and federal government are placed within this fund. To provide analysis of one tax revenue for this budget, property taxes are expected to come in higher than the year prior due to a 2.3% increase in homestead residential property assessments conducted by the county. This will total $2,094,282,000 in property taxes alone within this budget. In 2019, Miami-Dade collected 96.9% of levied property taxes for the year, just slightly lower than the year before. Miami-Dade County's expenditures are broken down into 8 categories within the budget. These 8 budgets comprise strategic areas of the government's functions, excuse me. Due to COVID-19 and a new civil courthouse that began before the pandemic, the current expenditures forecast is no longer in budget and needs to be reworked, which they will hopefully produce here sometime soon. So expenditure examples include the public safety and health and society categories. For public health and safety, general emergency management expenses that go toward establishing needed medical, fire, and police services fall under this category. This goes too for correction facilities. In the health and society category, expenses that assist affordable housing and community development programs fall under this one. Further, expenses to and from Miami-Dade's government homeless trust that was set up to support homeless rehabilitation fall under this category. It's a really neat initiative that they're doing. So heading into the CAFR analysis, Miami-Dade County received a GFOA Outstanding Budget Award in 2019 for their completed budget. I did not provide the current CAFR analysis as one has not been produced yet, just to disclose. Highlights of this year's CAFR analysis include revenues coming in by over $62 million than projected. Per the CAFR analysis, this was justified due to increased property values over that year, leading to an increase in assessment and thereby increased taxes. Also great for the county was a decrease in actual expenditures for the period. Miami-Dade has been working very hard over the past few years to restructure its debt, creating less overall burden on the county's debt obligations. Further, contractual obligations were reworked in several county-wide projects, leading to reduced contract pricing. Lastly, the police department did not use all of its appropriated money in the prior fiscal year, so a reimbursement of $11 million was sent back to the general fund. To briefly highlight financial ratios conducted on this year's budget, you may notice 2 red boxes around the ratios as I have provided. The first ratio in red argues Miami-Dade may not be in a position to pay expenses from reserve funds in the event of a revenue shortfall. The second ratio in red suggests a similar picture, where the county may not have sufficient reserves in the event of a revenue shortfall. However, revenue projections for the next several years, in spite of the pandemic, look good. It is unlikely that a revenue shortfall will occur. Finally, a capital improvement plan was hard to come by when searching for it within the budget. While Miami-Dade County is working on many capital projects, a comprehensive plan is something that they lack and are working to become better at disclosing in the future. They have begun work on one called the Countywide Improvement Program, but it is still in its infancy. However, proprietary funded departments, such as that of Miami-Dade Aviation, have their own CIP. I will use that as an example. So in the following graphic, the Miami-Dade Aviation Department has produced a map of Miami-Dade International Airport and highlighted locations of current and future projects. If you notice the taxiway in the middle, which is right there, this project will entail a taxiway expansion so that more cars may be permitted into the airport and smooth travel in and out of the airport as well. I went to Miami-Dade International last year and did notice how bad it was to get out from where our car was located. You had to maneuver quite well to get out in a timely fashion. So it'll be nice to have that less congestion in the future. I believe this project is desperately needed for the increased travel expected in the upcoming years, as projections indicate. So I figured I'd switch it up a little bit, and I placed a video clip actually that was produced from Miami-Dade Aviation Department that highlights capital projects that are here in the future. So I'm going to just play a small section so that you can kind of see a couple of the capital projects they're working on. It was a very well done video clip. And actually, I was going to say, well, I don't know if I can get the sound to it, so I do apologize on that, but the gist is, of course, here. So this is a concourse expansion that you're currently looking at. That is for the increased expected individuals that will use the airport here in the next several years. So they want to expand so there's not too much congestion getting to the concourse ports where you depart. Here, is a depiction of two hotels that they plan to build actually, which is really fascinating. So they've got one on site currently, but they want to add two more so that more individuals can come and stay without having to go into the greater Miami area should they need to stay for a night or so forth. Here as well is the inside of the hotel and its depiction. The cool part is that along with the things that I've read, they're hoping to have conferences that can be on site within the hotels should there be adequate enough space. So I thought that was really cool. Have a conference. And that one would be it. Oh, yep. Alrighty, and thank you all very much for your eager attention. Hope I didn't bore you too much, and cheers. My information is provided as such, and should you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Be happy to share with you. And then, of course, references.
I feel like I'm getting on one of those rides at like Busch Gardens or something because you're just so articulate and very good. So,
Please exit to your
Really?
left. I'm kidding. No. Well, thank you.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. So since we have just a minute or so,